Hi, I'm Jami Philbrick for IamRogue.com. I'm here in San Diego at SEALFIT, which is a training program started by an actual Navy SEAL, and we're here for the Blu-ray DVD release of Act of Valor. I had a chance to not only train with the Navy SEALs and learn their regiment, but I also talked to director Scott Waugh about Act of Valor, the Blu-ray, and his next film, Need for Speed. Here's what Scott had to say, and here's me getting my ass kicked working with the SEALs.
You have to use your bad voice.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop what you're doing. This is pathetic.
It is. On your feet. Get up. Okay, when I ask you a question, you want to hear hoo-yah. If I say hoo-yah, you say hoo-yah. 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 Let's try that. Hoo-yah. 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 Double jack. 4 count. Ready. Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, let's do 10 push-ups. Somebody take charge. Down. 1. Down. 2. Down. 3. Down. 4. Down. 5. Down. 6. Down. 7. Down. 8. Down. 9. Down. 10. Walk with me. Get long, you gotta come up. Walk with me. Have your arms up under it. Left shoulder. Ready? Ready. Left shoulder. Left shoulder. Head down long. Ready? Ready. Down long. Check those backs, guys. Okay, ready? Prepare to up long. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, run over. 8,
Stop what you're doing. Start over.
You're going too fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. 7. All the way down. 8. All the way down. 9. 10. There it is. Go, you pussies.
That's what I'm talking about. Motivation.
All right.
So now that we're going into Blu-ray and DVD and obviously home video, how do you feel about, I mean, obviously the film was very successful in the theaters, but were you kind of blown away by the amount of success that it had and the amount of people that really wanted to go see it?
I think the filmmaker is very humbled by the reception of the movie. I mean, you never really think you're going to be like #1 at the box office. Act of Valor is #1. It's like completely blown away, and to see that like, we just crossed the $70 million mark is just, I don't know. You just never. I never believed it. I always believed in the movie, but who knows if the audience was going to receive this movie?
Yeah, yeah, and they did. I mean, were you concerned when you realized that it was going to, go theatrical? Were you concerned about? Obviously, it's a little experimental in some ways. Using real SEALs instead of actors. I mean, were you concerned about how the general public was going to kind of take to it?
I was never concerned about if the audience was going to be able to receive this movie. I think we designed it as such because we really felt like 99.99% of our audiences will never become or be Navy SEALs. We all would aspire to be like them, so we designed the movie so you could actually be one for 90 minutes and really be immersed in that world. I think that's why a lot of people have been receiving the movie like, I've never been a part of this world before. Now, at least Act of Valor, you get a slice of what it's like to be in that world.
Yeah, absolutely. From working with the SEALs, what did you learn about them and their regiment, what they go through that maybe you didn't know previously?
I think the thing that a lot of people don't understand about the SEAL community is they're ordinary men, that they're not these Terminator Rambo guys, that they're actually ordinary guys with ordinary problems, but they just can do extraordinary things. It's kind of funny, like those are really based on our superheroes and the comic book culture, except these guys are the real thing. And I think for that, I just didn't really realize their honesty and personal problems that they have to deal with. They are husbands, they are fathers, they have all these things that we think about that live in the civilian sector that I don't think people really have seen before.
Do you think that's one of the reasons maybe the movie hit so well was with audiences because, like you said, we are sort of in that comic book culture, and you know everyone wants a hero, and these are and then obviously we've been at war for the better part of the last decade, so these are the real heroes. Do you think that sort of like put a light on that in some senses?
There was a comic book bubble that happened. I think it was in the Times. And it was after May 1st when Osama bin Laden got taken down. And it was all the superheroes. And Superman's bubble said, who wishes they were a Navy SEAL? And I think it's true. I think it's really true about our society. You know, it's like, if you're going to be a man in society and really, like Lieutenant Rourke Denver says, if you're going to be a man in society, earn your seat at the table, there's no better way to do it than be a Navy SEAL, and only a very small threshold of men have ever been able to say they were one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell me about the Blu-ray. Is there any deleted scenes? Did you guys do commentary? Is there anything? What can we expect from the Blu-ray that fans maybe didn't get to see in the theaters?
So the greatest thing for a director is always going to be the Blu-ray. Just for me, I love it because a lot of things I couldn't put in the movie that I really wanted to, and a lot of, besides the deleted scenes. My partner and I do director's commentary. We kind of walk you through the whole movie and things that we dealt with on the film. And then the other thing that's really exciting for us is, you know, before we made the movie, we did a lot of interviews with the guys, and something that's never been done before. Like, they don't usually let active duty SEALs do interviews, especially operators. And you get to witness on the Blu-ray all 8 interviews with the guys, private ones that they're the most honest interviews you're going to ever see on an active duty Navy SEAL. And then the greatest thing about the Blu-ray as well is it was really important to us to give back. So for every Blu-ray and DVD that's being bought, a portion of net proceeds is going to go to Operation Homefront. So we're going to be trying to give back as much as we possibly can to the men and women that have served and wounded warriors. So Operation Homefront is a great non-profit charity that really does that. And it benefits all the branches of the military, which is really important to us. So really, that is our way as civilians to give back to them. Is, you know, by purchasing the Act of Valor DVD or Blu-ray, you get to really give back. Oh, that's amazing. That's great. Was there a casting process to find the SEALs? I mean, or how did that sort of work? Or was this sort of the roles kind of written, you know, generically, and then you found the right people to kind of fill those parts? When we were developing the film in the 6 months, we really hung out with a lot of Navy SEALs, a lot of the guys down in Coronado, and we really took a liking to the 8 that are in the movie.
Okay.
And it wasn't really a casting process. It's just, these were guys that really had nothing to prove. They all have accolades, massive amounts of deployment, and they had a lot of honest stories that have happened to them. And they really, to me and Mouse, were a great representation of all the SEAL teams. In every kind of category. They were all diverse in their own right. And so that was why we really wrote the movie around them. So they're not playing a character, they're playing themselves. And those are their wives and kids in the movie. So we really tailored the screenplay around them.
So are versions of their real stories depicted in the film? I mean, are there things that they say to each other that more or less really happened?
Well, the dialogue is authentically written pretty much by them. We would just give them a skeleton of what we needed to say to get the plot going, and they would basically tell us, I wouldn't say that, I'd say it like this. And it was really fun because that's why all the dialogue is so authentic. Even the personal dialogue. You know, the way they hand their letter, like when he hands the chief his letter on the ship, that's something they do privately. You know, and that's in case something dies, this is what I want my children to know about me. And I think those are the things we really don't realize as civilians.
I love Chief, and it was almost hard to believe that wasn't an actor because he was so amazing and so believable. Can you talk about meeting him and kind of...
You know, Chief Dave was the one that really spawned the light bulb of, like, we have to use the real guys. You meet this man, and he's just like this... He's such a lovable guy. He's 6'5". He's this good-looking guy. He's an incredible operator, but you see the flip side of him, and he's got his wife and 5 kids, and he's just this like tender guy. And like, that complexity of character to me was just like, I don't know how an actor's really going to accurately represent that. And I was just like looking at Dave, going, "Hey, Dave, would you be in the movie?" And he just looked at us like, dude, I'm not an actor, I'm not a Hollywood guy, I'm a Navy SEAL, bro, you gotta get somebody else. And I was like, think about it, man, this is like your way to keep a hand on it and make sure it's authentic and accurate. I would never ask you to do or say anything that's not real. And so they did. They all turned us down, but then they eventually really thought
I was going to say, was it hard getting them to agree to want to do it?
You know, and kudos to the Navy said, look, if the operators, because they usually don't let them, they said if the operators will agree to it, we leave it to their discretion. So that was awesome, but obviously none of them wanted to be in the movie, and including the 8 that we got in the movie. But we kind of whittled on them and just, really said, hey man, I think we developed a trust, Mouse and I did with them, and that really helped out. They knew we weren't going to make them look bad or make them, we weren't going to show them in a light that wasn't accurate. And that's all we said, hey, I'm just going to show you as you are. I'm not going to make you be somebody else that you're not. I think that really resonated well with them.
Have you spoken to them since the release of the film, and how do they feel about being movie stars now?
What's funny is that we're still really close friends with all of them. I don't think the movies really hit home for them. They're all still operating.
Right.
And they all still working. I think Lieutenant Rourke's the only one that just got out. But all the rest are still serving our country. And it's really funny because a lot of guys said, you're going to be a movie star now. Movies come out. Movie came out, and they're still the same guys, still doing the same things.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually more heroic than
I think that's really reassuring to hear. This process of filmmaking, as a filmmaker, going through, is this the way you think you'll work in the future? Do you like working this sort of manner, or, maybe for your next project, do a more conventional scripted film? Or do you like the idea of kind of using the real life people for whatever your project is?
I think the only rule we have at Bandito Brothers is authentic action, in-camera action. So for us, that's like our only real rule, telling human stories versus incredible action. So that's the only format we'll follow. The next film might have all actors in it, but might be traditional in that sense, but we're all about doing in-camera action. So it's about being immersed in that kind of world is really important.
It'll never be CGI heavy or anything like that.
No, it's just kind of not our brand. And if we did some kind of sci-fi CGI world, we're going to do as much as we possibly can in camera to keep it real. So we're not really barking down that tree yet. But
is Need for Speed your next project?
It's looking like Need for Speed is going to be my next film, which I'm excited about. Huge car brand and great title. And I think I personally always really wanted to do a big car chase movie. I think we have the tools to transcend all the other ones that have been out there, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Do you have a favorite car chase in a film? Is it Bullet? Everyone always kind of goes to Bullet.
Yeah, you go back into funny things. We still haven't been able to outdo 40 years ago, which is Bullet and French Connection and Ronin. And, it's like, we got to be able to, and I know we can do better than that, and those are great, great car chases. But I think with our tools at Bandito, we're going to be able to do, hopefully.
I was going to say, are you guys sort of already kind of pre-plotting how you'll